all I'm saying is wherever you meet a woman, she always likes to romance. So that's universal, I think. And I think respect is pretty much universal too. I think that you really want to always treat women with the utmost respect. I think that's really important.
They come to us in order to meet somebody nice, sincere from another country who wants a serious relationship. So that's pretty much the main reason why they come to our agent. Well, the situation is that men, their local men, are not interested in that.
Okay.
So they just would be interested in meeting somebody from another country. They don't really care about the age. Somebody who wants to settle down with a very nice woman. That's
Okay.
all.
All right. So they are open to a somewhat of an age difference, say a 15, even 20-year age difference?
Yeah, absolutely. Not a problem at all.
Okay. Do most of the women, do you think, want to, when you say about they want to have a family, does that include a child? Do most of the women want to have children still, do you think?
Oh, yeah, absolutely. There are some who do not have any kids, and then they would like to meet somebody who is serious about having a relationship, get married, and have kids. However, there are some ladies who have children already.
A lot of times I get asked when guys call up and they're saying, asking all kinds of questions about how the service works, and they're asking all these questions about the women. And one of the questions I always get is, are the women serious? And are they willing to leave their country and move to a foreign land with someone, right? But the serious thing, I always get that, well, are they serious? Are they just playing games? So what do you think about that? Are the majority of the women that join the service, in your experience, serious about trying to find someone special?
Well, based on that, mostly all the women that come to our site, pretty much what they ask me is, am I going to find somebody nice, sincere, who wants a serious relationship? Because that's what I'm looking for,
So they're worried about the man being serious.
Yes, absolutely. Because like I said, they have had quite a lot of issues about guys who are not that serious. Okay. And then my answer to them is yes, absolutely. These guys, they are completely alone, and then they want to meet somebody, a nice Latina woman, to have a serious relationship.
You're not really that familiar maybe with American culture because never lived in America. You visited it quite a few times. But is there much of a difference in the culture and the way that the men and the women expect the men to treat them?
Well, I think the most important thing here is to be respectful to the lady. Okay? That's something that they really like and enjoy when they find somebody who really treats them in a good way, who is respectful. And also the romanticism part is something very important that they really like from any man.
Okay, so romance, guys. Romance works wherever you are. Even if you go to, like, on these space trips they're doing now, there's women out there, maybe. And so there's guys going there. We'll go anywhere where there's a possibility of meeting a woman. But all I'm saying is wherever you meet a woman, she always likes to romance. I mean, it really, so that's universal, I think.
Yep,
and I think
definitely.
Respect is pretty much universal too. I think that you really want to always treat women with the utmost respect. I think that's really important. I am not a huge fan of just doing a lot of writing. I tell that to guys all the time that you don't have to write. You can just go over and meet in person, or you write with a plan, right? Like, okay, I'm going to take a tour, and now I'm going to write a few of the women to see who they might have, like you say, some chemistry with, at least as much as you can tell through letters. And then maybe meet them when you get there, so it speeds things up a little bit. But if I don't write anything and I just go, I can still meet women there without writing at all, right?
Oh yeah, absolutely.
Okay,
so that is always something that we can do.
Okay, and same with, so would you recommend a group tour over individual? Or which one do you think is better, or does it depend on the circumstance?
Based on the situation, I would recommend both. Some guys prefer doing a group tours where they can meet many women, you know.
At the socials
yes,
and everything.
absolutely. But at some point, they feel kind of intimidated by having so many women at the social event.
Some guys do.
Yeah, absolutely. They feel like a ball on a ball fight. That's the way how a client put it to me when we were the social, one social we had once. And then he decided to do it a single tour. So at the end, he told me that the single tour, it worked much
It was better for him. He felt more comfortable just meeting the women one-on-one,
yeah,
as opposed to doing the group tour.
Yes.
And, and it's very personal. It really does depend. I mean, I am a huge believer in the group tours. I think that even if you feel a bit uncomfortable, the odds are so much more in your favor because you're at these social events. And yes, you may feel, I like that, you're like a bull in a bullfight, but you're meeting so many different women. And yes, it's out of the ordinary. It's out of your comfort zone. And it's not usual, right? Because usually it's the woman who's getting all this attention from all the guys. So you walk into a bar, there's a few women, lots of guys, and the women are just constantly getting hit on. So they're used to that. We're not. How often do you walk in the bar and get hit on by all these women? Not very often,
no.
Right? Me, it happens a lot because I am really good looking, but I'm the exception to the rule here. Just kidding, okay? You gotta have a little humor in these things, guys. No, it doesn't happen to me either. But the point is when you go on one of these tours, you're thrown into a room with probably 7 to 8 to 9 times more women than there are men, because there's usually about at least a 7-to-1 ratio
yes.
of women to men. And these women tell us that they're interested in meeting for a serious relationship, about possibly marriage, and the men are telling us that. So when these men are put into that environment and there's so many more women, all of a sudden the women get a little more aggressive than they normally would be. All of a sudden they're going to come up to you a little bit more and talk to you. I've seen in Ukraine where we have, sometimes it's a 12 or 13-to-1 ratio, and the women get very aggressive where they're really kind of grabbing on and things like that. Because, it's their one opportunity to actually meet and talk to the men. And, some people say, oh, well, John, that's not really fair because there's so many more women than there are men. It's not really fair to the women. But, we've been doing this for so long, and we found that if we tried to do it like 1-to-1, where if there's, 15 men, we just have 15 women at that social, the odds of those two groups really making a lot of matches are very low because there's just not that many in numbers, right? But when you have, maybe 100 women and 10 men, now the odds of making something happen between that group is better because you have so many more that are meeting, right? So these men have the opportunity to meet all these women, and all these women have the opportunity to meet these men. And then you do it again the next night with a different group of women. Now all these women have the opportunity to meet this men, and these men have the opportunity to meet these women. And this just makes it so much, to me, so much more conducive to having that opportunity to find that match. Because it worked for me. I mean, the only way that I ever met Tanya, my wife,
wow,
the only way that we met was being at that social. I never wrote a letter. I never knew she existed. I didn't pick her off a website, even though she was on a website. I didn't know she was there. I just saw her at that social, and I thought she was the most beautiful woman I'd ever seen. And I walked up to her, and of course she blew me off. It took some time to convince her I was a great person. But if not for that social, I wouldn't have had that opportunity to convince her that I was a great person, right?
Absolutely.
And so I really like the ability to do that. Now, some guys are shyer, like you said. Some guys are a little more intimidated by going into a group of women like that.
If you enjoyed this video, be sure to give us a thumbs up and subscribe to our channel. Then click on the notice bell to get notified every time we add something new. Are you interested in meeting the love of your life? Experience the adventure of a lifetime. Interested? Learn more at
MexicanLovemates.com.